Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
I'm on my same schedule as usual, so I was like racing back but there is no real traffic, so it was much easier.
Ah, good. I've already messed up my TikTok schedule. I decided not to put it on the TikTok. I think this is more just for me to make sure I try to go on at that time, and I'm glad I didn't because I didn't even notice it. It says Monday, May 26th, 1 p.m. That's when we're doing this.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
I might do it when the spirit moves me. So this morning I posted my bathing suit, the one that I love for sale. It's got like 145 views, but nobody's purchased anything yet. So I think I'm gonna have to go live and sell. And now I qualify because I did the three other lives. I think. But that's so intimidating. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm just
You'll be a pro in no time though.
I don't know. I just like it is a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe we can do a hypnosis session around that if you want.
I've been watching everybody else that's trying to get clued into how the flow of it works. There's definitely a system to it. They talk about it for a few minutes, they engage, and they talk about it again, and then they engage. So I'm getting the rhythm of how it works.
Yeah.
For me, like yesterday, I did that whole 40-minute live and no one engaged. So
Yeah. That first one I did, or the only one I've done, nobody engaged. But I would challenge you to go and look at like the lady that you're taking the classes from. Go and see if you can find her first time she was doing that
yeah, and I don't know
because
how to do that. I don't know how to find the old lives because they don't post on your
they
on your
don't stay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Anybody else, see if you can find some of the earlier ones
Yeah, I'm sure it was awful.
because right now you're
Yeah,
comparing yourself to their 520.
true. Maybe if I could send you the one that I did today, you can just give it a little love because no one's
Okay.
liked it
Yeah,
yet.
definitely do that. And
I don't want to look like a
I've been
loser.
working on my book this morning.
I can't wait to read it.
I know.
I think you
And
put like a little blurb out there, say, "Hey, my book's coming soon. I'm an author," and just put that out in the universe.
yeah, yeah.
No, my book is
Mhm.
coming soon. Just working on chapter whatever, and just keep talking about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I had thought about maybe talking a little bit about it on TikTok, but I was unsure,
I think
you
that's the way
know,
to do it.
what to do, but maybe I'll just wing it. And if it goes good, fine. If it doesn't, that's okay too.
Maybe ask questions.
Yeah.
Do you guys like mystery or do you guys like what kind of books do you read? Book talk is huge,
Yeah,
huge.
remember I've got that friend of mine that's the author,
Yeah,
and she has a whole following on TikTok all about books and stuff. I need
yeah.
to check with her. She's actually added me into one of her chat things that she had created, and I haven't really been in there because at the time I wasn't even writing. It was like it was all this thing that was going to happen. So maybe I'll start chiming into there a little bit, but they're all romance authors. But she said it wouldn't matter. She said you're
Well, this
welcome to
is-
be in there. So maybe I'll start talking about that and maybe I might be able to get one of the things that she does, especially when she first started, was she would ask friends to beta read for her
Yeah,
and that they were getting it free so that they would do a review and stuff.
yeah,
So,
perfect.
yeah, so
Perfect.
we'll
I mean,
see. But it definitely still needs a lot of work.
so I know that my authors that I read, they'll take 100 people as beta readers.
Yeah.
100 people. And they have to sign up for their Patreon. So you sign up for Patreon and then you can be a beta reader. So you're making money off of their beta readers too. And then they get like a signed copy when it comes out or whatever.
Okay. Might have to look into that a little bit more. But I'm telling you, oh, do you want me to look at it real now?
Oh no, you can just open it and click the heart, whatever you want to do, whenever.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't,
you look good in that bathing suit.
it's an optical illusion bathing suit.
Because it's got the white on the side.
Yep.
Got these white panels here that really help to define your shape. So I really love the look of it. And I am a 34 double D, so it holds up the girls real nicely. The best part is it's got
Ooh, I like that.
lacing in the back, so you can make it tighter or looser depending on what you like. So if you want to tighten up some more, it's going to really define that waistline some more. And it's got ample room, so it covers up the side. right here, rolling in nicely.
Try not to
And
say
it's
side boob or
in the
that side right here.
So it has some nice coverage there. And it's super comfortable. That is always my biggest criteria. At 57, I don't want anything that's going to strangle me, and I don't want anything that's going to be jiggly. And this does all of those things. So in terms of sizing, this is a medium, and I went by chest size. So you want to look at the chart and
You don't have to listen to the whole thing. I just
work best
thank you
for
for liking it.
I'll step a little bit closer here so you can.
It's only $32.99, but I will be honest, I don't have, you have a different shape than me right now. I've got really big hips, not necessarily my hips, but the upper leg. So when I get bathing suits, a lot of times that cut there, it makes it look really rounded. So I usually go for something
that's
that
in style
covers
right
that.
now. That's in
What?
style. All of that's in style now. Guys love it. Thick, juicy thighs, big booties. They're all like that.
Well, the only guys I've ever dated that really like that were the black guys.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. And I even had one tell me one time, now don't lose too much weight because you're losing that thick. And it's, I don't like that either. I want somebody to just love me as I am, not,
I
but
get it, but I have to say, nothing's like a compliment. You know what I mean?
I know.
Love who you are, love how it is. I got some bolds there too, but it comes.
You don't, not like it's a, boop.
But I think that's all good. And as you lose weight, that may go too. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares?
I don't
You
know
gotta-
why, but I do.
All right, I get it a little bit, but you know what? It took a lot for me to post that video. It took a lot. You know what I did? I filmed it, trimmed the end off, posted it before, and I closed my eyes and just hit post.
But you looked amazing.
Thank you. I don't really feel that way, and it's hard to put out there.
I bet.
I got some, I don't know. I just got your own stuff going on in your head.
Yeah.
But I did it. That's what I'm really proud of, is I just did it. I just
Yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Hey,
I do
whatever.
like that bathing suit. Maybe right now it's not my financial priority, so I won't be going
Right.
there.
But that's all I needed you to do is just like it.
Yeah. So I did it, gave it a heart.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I may go back later and make a comment or something.
I've been reposting. I don't know if you noticed, I've been reposting your posts,
No, I didn't know.
stories, so that people see it. Post to the story, post to the story. So I don't
Okay.
have to ever tell you that, but I do it every single time I come across one of yours. I like post it to my story.
Okay. When you just
Follow,
shared, I can
follow.
post it to my story.
Yeah, you can share and post it to story.
Oh, let's see.
On the top.
How do I do that? Okay.
Follow her. The little share button, the little arrow,
Okay.
and then
Repost.
you can hit repost or you can hit post a story. I do both.
I don't see post a story. I see repost, copy link,
Hold on.
some indirect Instagram.
I never see it.
Save video.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Share as a GIF.
No. All right, so I'm gonna walk you. Okay, so let me see if I can find one that I haven't shared of yours. Because people are gonna be like, what a weirdo. She keeps sharing all this stuff. Okay. I go to the little arrow right here. Right
Okay,
here.
that's what I did.
Arrow. And then you scroll down, see at the bottom, it says report, save video, add to story. I just click add to story.
Oh, okay, now I see it.
And then I say follow.
And then what?
And then I type in there, follow her, and then I just share it to the story.
What? Where do you put that at?
I
Where-
just type it in the story.
Do you? What? Show me.
Okay, hold on. Go back. They did it already. I'm super fast.
Do you hit the little type thing? The little
Yeah.
A's? Okay, I hit the A.
Yeah. And then I just type out follow her for more or follow for more. And then I just send it off to the universe.
And it's got ample room to
Okay.
up the side.
Add to story.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I did that. There, you can tell I've never done that before. I couldn't even, I'm not even sure sometimes how to add text to things. It's okay.
I watched another creator and they said, always save your own stories. So as your favorites, save your own post as favorites, because TikTok doesn't know if it's you or someone else. You can be the first comment. You can always share your post to your story. So just do all the things that you want other people to do. So I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool.
So are we doing our why hustle culture against our assets?
Yeah, but we probably need to wait a few minutes. Jackie doesn't always show up on time.
I know, but we can kick around some bullet points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. There was something I was going to tell you. I don't remember what it was. But
Something
it's a
good.
111, so it's perfect time for us to do this.
Yeah. All right, let me pull that up so we can ask
Oh,
more.
I watched a podcast today with Simon Sinek.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is?
No.
Oh, you need to look him up. He's pretty a big deal. He has a TED Talk, and it's Start With Why is the name of it.
No?
It's very good,
Okay.
but he's pretty big. He's actually, I think, I can't remember if he's Russell Branson's mentor or Russell Branson is his mentor. I think it might be he's Russell Branson's mentor, but I'm not positive. But he has that, go watch that one TED Talk, and it's on YouTube,
Okay.
and it really get you here with how
Deal.
we're supposed to be doing business with our why and everything. But
And his
anyway, he was talking,
what's the name of the podcast?
his name is Simon Sinek.
Simon.
Let me see. I can look and tell you the podcast that I watched this morning, but he has a whole thing
Okay.
on YouTube.
I'll hunt him down.
Okay. But this morning, the podcast that I was watching, I can't remember the guy's name. Let's see. And Sinek is Sinek. And this podcast that he was on is The Diary of a CEO.
Okay.
And he was talking about AI and the different things about AI, how some people are jumping in. It was a lot, but I've only watched half of it, but it was really good. And one of the things that he talks about is how people don't, when we know this, people don't like perfection. And what's happening with people spending so much time creating all their posts and all their emails and everything with AI, there's no mistakes, there's not any of these things that make us human.
Yeah.
And for to be a little bit different, to make sure that you're still being authentically you and you're still making mistakes. And one of the things that I thought was really amazing when he was talking was, because sometimes I don't think we think about these things, or maybe I don't, and maybe everybody else does. I don't know. But because of AI, people are able to forego a lot of the mistakes that they would be making doing all this. But in not making those mistakes, they're not growing. So it's almost like those people that win the lottery and they can't sustain it. And so he said, what's being birthed now is a lot of people that can't think for themselves. They can't troubleshoot and they can't, because he even likens it to people not being able to have personal relationships because they do so much digitally that they can't keep regular. It's really good. So anyway,
I can believe that though. I can believe people get so reliant on AI to answer simple questions or think out of the box. And you're like, let me check. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute.
yeah.
I was listening to a mom who, has a struggled relationship with her daughter. And so she always goes to Chat GPT before she sends her daughter a text. And her daughter said, really nice. Now you're sending me Chat GPT texts.
Yeah. See, he even talked about that as far as a romantic relationship. So you
Yeah.
send your girlfriend this and she says, okay, maybe I need to have a relationship with chat instead or something like
Right.
that. But I will say sometimes I fall prey to that a little bit because it's so
All
fast.
humans do. 'Cause we're
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
Like when I was struggling with technology, I'm like, let me ask chat what to do next.
Yeah.
Not always right, but at least it gets me further down the line.
Yeah.
I could not for the life of me figure out how I see my TikTok stats for sales or anything. I'm like, I don't know where it is. And AI sent me to a different website, but that ended up being for people that have businesses in that TikTok. So it was a big mess. But anyway, I did a further search on chat our podcast today. So it's an intro of 2 to 3 minutes, fun banter we've got opinions. It says coffee and no time for 5 a.m. wake up calls. So you set the tone that this is not an anti-work rant, it's a pro-sanity, pro-boundary, pro-freedom chat. And it says, if you've ever been guilt tripped for not doing more, this is the episode. This episode is your permission slip.
Okay, I like it.
It just talks about why we don't need to hustle so much.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Beautiful. Now that we are recording.
Take two.
Yeah, take two, take 22, whatever it is, right?
One of the things I don't care about anymore is perfection.
That's right.
Not perfection. Like, better just to get it done.
That's it. And so the title of this episode is Why Hustle Culture Can Kiss Our Assets. We are ready.
Yeah, girl, we've been there before. We've all been in a hustle culture, and we talk about it all the time. We can get sucked into the world of hustle because you get that shiny object syndrome, and you're, oh, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this, let's try that. And then you're just like hustle because you got so many balls in the air to try and keep them all up there. Well, let's grab our drink of choice. I'm going to go with Bang Energy drink because, you know, I need to be more spazzy than I already
I've
am.
got my decaf tea right here.
Nice. So yeah, you're going all decaf and I'm going high calf. We're good.
See, if I drink caffeine after 12,
Mm-hmm.
even this has caffeine because it's decaffeinated. So it has a trace. That's all I can do. But if I drink it after 12, when it comes time to go to bed at night, I can close my eyes, but my eyes are going crazy. It's like it doesn't get me. Yeah. Used to not be that way. I went off caffeine for about a year. And once I started having a little bit of caffeine, it was like it hit me hard, right?
I drink a gallon of water a day, but I could have caffeine in bed and I'd still sleep.
Yeah. See, I used to be that way. I would drink a cup of coffee before I went to bed and be fine. Nope, not anymore.
That was before I had my hormone, like now that I have hormone replacement that I can sleep. Before that, I was like an insomnia queen. So
Okay.
I'm
not doing hormone replacement right now. Maybe that's
one a day is okay.
Okay. All right. Good. So one of the things that was happening for me for a while is, and we talked a little bit about it before we got on here, is I have a day profession that I do. And then I have the coaching and the hypnosis and the podcast and all these things that we do.
2 podcasts.
Yeah, 2 podcasts. And so there's only so many hours in the day. So I would work that first job. And then if I had a break, I work from home. So I would get on the computer and do something else. And then at the end of the workday, I'm hopping back on the computer for the different things that I've got scheduled. And then I end up being up late. And then I try to set my clock so I can get up earlier, but it's, wait a minute, something's got to give here. I can't function long term like that.
Yes.
And so that was one of the things that we were talking about a few moments ago, because I tend to, it's that hustle culture that we're inundated with. And I even heard, I watched a gentleman on YouTube, and one of the things that he said that made me feel like I was supposed to be hustling even more was he said that in the beginning, if you watch TV, you're doing something wrong. If you take a break, you're doing something wrong. You're supposed to be, this is the time that you hustle till you can get to the place where you can relax. But I almost feel like that's what causes complete burnout. So when they get to the place that they want to relax, it's because they're so friggin' burnt out that they can't do anything else.
I think we can get guilt tripped into having to work more and more. You know, and maybe you were raised this way too. But I was raised by 2 parents who thought you had to be the first one into the office in the morning and the last one out at night. That was how you were successful. And back then, companies really took note of that. And they really rewarded people for their hard work. Not so much today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody's going to reward you for being the first in and last out, or
Yeah.
maybe small companies, but in general, you're just a number in a big company.
Yeah.
And if you're an entrepreneur, what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah.
So that leads to that hustle mentality. We need to do more. I need to do more. I need to do more. How much more can we do and still be healthy?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
some point, there's a lot of diminishing returns, right? We have to calculate out how much hustle are we willing to do and give up the life that we want. You know, there's give and take.
Plus, the thing too that I'm always reminding myself of is a lot of times it's that old thing, slow down to speed up. Because when you're hustling, you're not taking a breath to get into that intuition and that guidance that if you give yourself an opportunity to sit and be quiet and
Right.
not be hustling, you come up with much more ideas. Like you and I've talked about it before, going out and walk for a walk or something like that gives you
Transformative.
so many ideas, but you can't do that and be constantly busy in your mind of work. You've got to release and pay attention to nature and all of that. And I was sharing a story right before we got on here. Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
we were talking about, shoot, we were talking about, oh, if you had to give up all your money,
Yes.
relative that was sick, would you do it? So I want y'all to think about that. Would you give up all of your money to help a relative that will save their life? And if that's the case, I'm gonna let Vicky tell you the rest of it.
Yeah.
If that's the
So
case, what
if
happens?
that's the case, then the money is not the valuable thing. It's the person, it's the relationships. And so why do we spend so much time trying to gather the money and let the relationships lose ground? So if you're married or you're dating and you're wanting to forge that relationship and keep it, then you've got to have time allotted for that relationship. You can't just work and expect it to all work out. And I think that's why a lot of people, that have been married for many years, a lot of times they end up 20, 25 years in and they call it quits because they stopped that dating process. They stopped that connection. I know my parents were a great example of that over the years, they just got further and further apart and they got divorced after 22 years of marriage, I think it was. And it's the thing is, if you don't want that to be your story,
Yeah.
like even thinking about your kids. Oh,
My husband and I made a conscious decision not to let that happen.
yeah.
We put a plan in place that we would reconnect at least on a date once a week and spend at least an hour a day catching up and understanding what the other person's doing. And we're on the run constantly. I have my own business and he is a consultant, and sometimes we're just passers in the day and night, and it's like a kiss goodnight. But then we're like, wait a minute, stop, time out. We need some time together. And then we'll maybe do a weekend away or just go out to dinner or whatever. Because life can get crazy. And listen, this isn't an anti-work rant or anything. This is a pro-sanity rant. This is, you need to be sane. You can't be all work and no play. That's a no fun life. So you end up with $1 million and you die alone?
Yeah.
That's the story I want.
I want to have the $1 million and then have people close to me and people that I help with that $1 million. That philanthropy stuff is really important to
Yeah.
me. Like I think I've shared before, not on here, but I've shared with you and with others that one of the people that I really look up to is Dolly Parton, who
Yeah.
has such a massive amount of wealth, but she is constantly sharing and doing and creating differences in
Inspiring.
people's lives. Yeah. And so she's not just grabbing the money and hoarding it away. She's using it for good. And that's what I would love to have, that type of wealth so that I can do even more. It is just feels like that would be an amazing place to live.
I agree. And one of the things we need to concentrate in the same vein of things, is you don't want to hustle, you want to build. Right? I want
Yes.
to build our businesses. So not necessarily hustle, but have a plan of action. You write out your steps. And we did this fun exercise. We took ChatGPT. I just was recently accepted in the TikTok affiliate shop, and I wanted to know how to be accepted the quickest way possible. So I went to Chat and I said, Chat, give me a posting plan. And I followed that posting plan for a couple days, and then I was accepted. Now I'm accepted and I got to figure out how this all works. But the thing is, you make a plan and you stick to the plan rather than trying 100,000 different ways. And oftentimes that's investing in a coach, which I did, and that helped me move really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And or if that's not available, then you go to a chat or you go to AI and you get an outline. That's not to say that you rely solely on that, but that gives you a condensed timeline to get things done in a faster way. So there's less hustle and more building. And also, I think it's important to have many streams of income. So you're not just looking at one stream of income.
Yeah. That old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
That's it. Part of the reason I decided to do some affiliate stuff is because I do teach fitness and we're in front of people all the time, Vicki and I, helping people with their learning different business things. And oftentimes we use tools. If those tools are available, I'd like to have a little store so that they can get the tools and I can still make some income off of that too. Because Lord knows if you get sick, if you get incapacitated in any way, you still need a way to make income, right? So it's good
Mm-hmm.
to have diversification. Think less hustle, more building.
Yes, yes. And having the ability to have boundaries so that when people start, if you've got a clear desire of what you want to happen, and you know that, then you're going to have a lot better boundaries because then you'll be able to see what is it that this person is asking for me? Does that get me closer to my goal or does it take me away from my goal? And you're able to discern that. And one of the things that we've talked about before too is that's really important is to have a list of what your values are. And if you've got a list of your values and you've got your goals set up, then it's so much easier to make those decisions because people can guilt you into doing things that go against what you really want to do. And you have to remind yourself you have the ability and you actually have the obligation really to say no when
Right.
it's going away from where you want to go. It's just like the other day, I know what my financial goals are. And the other day, somebody was telling me about something that would be a really good thing for me to do. And I had to stop myself and say, wait a minute, does that align with what these goals I have financially? No matter what a good deal it is, if it's going against my goals, then I shouldn't do it. So I was able to say no, not right now. It doesn't mean never, it just means not right now. And so I used to fall prey to that guilt thing, especially these people that are selling you things that are so good at selling. They know exactly the words to say that make you feel almost obligated to make the purchase. And maybe everybody doesn't fall prey to those, but I used to for sure. That's
Oh,
why I have a $3,000 rainbow vacuum in my garage that I don't ever use.
listen, I did a whole coaching program for a long period of time. I spent a lot of money on it. And then right after that, I was pitched a deal for a $10,000 sales training, which was very hard to say no to. I'm not going to lie, because it was very enticing. I'm not the best salesperson, I'm getting better, but it was really difficult. The timing wasn't right for me because I have so many other things going on. But me actually saying, no, I'm not coachable for that right now was super hard for me. My heart was pounding, I felt sweaty. But the thing is, I'm not going to be guilted into things anymore, right? Because that's
Yeah.
just more work. And I'd already bought all these courses that I hadn't finished. And I thought, I really can't keep adding things. It just added to the stress level and made me feel like I wasn't productive. So I think it's choosing to be aligned more than just busy work.
Yeah, yeah. And that goes back to that. What was the phrase that you said earlier? I just don't care. What is the whole thing?
Oh, the We Don't Care Club.
That's right.
No, we do not care. I've been making lists of things I do not care about. And one of them is living up to other people's expectations.
Yes.
I was talking about how my standard uniform is black leggings. I have 30 pairs. I counted them, 30 pairs of black leggings. That is pretty much what I wear. And I don't care. Most of my work is done online now, aside from teaching fitness, and they're comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't care. Like I'm tired of playing up to other people's expectations. I'm old enough now that I just don't care. I don't wear makeup. I don't care. Every once in a while, I'll plop on some lipstick and I think, wow, I look so glamorous because I'm so not used to wearing anything anymore. But woo, yay me. But it's really about feeling confident in who you are and knowing that you can make money without working yourself to death.
Yeah.
And maybe trusting the power of going slower instead of doing everything at warp speed or just trying to go after that money. Like
Yeah.
we serve people, we don't want to just be busy for the sake of being busy. So it's
Yeah.
like,
I kind of liken that to you can get in your car and you can go on vacation.
mhm,
And you've got this destination and you could speed your ass off getting there to where everything is going whoo, whoo, beside you. You don't see Jack. Or you can take one of those trips to where the actual destination is not the most focal point. It's the journey there where you're stopping to see this little side hustle, this
I
farmer's
love,
market thing or the largest spool of thread, or you see something that you want to stop and give yourself permission to enjoy the little pieces along the way.
yep,
And sometimes, and I will say, because I've said I fall prey to that hustle thing a lot of times. And one of the most valuable things that I can do for myself, and that I would ask everybody else to do for themselves too, is to take a break every now and then just to say, oh, what in my life right now am I so grateful for? And not like you sit with your gratitude journal and I had a great cup of coffee and the sun's shining and you say the same things every single time.
right, right.
It is actually sitting there and thinking of the beautiful, valuable things in your life. And it may be that you look back at a business adventure that you went on that went to total shit, but you learned a valuable lesson. And now you can look at it and say, oh, that taught me enough that I'll never have that happen to me again. And it could be relationships too. I've had a lot of those relationships that taught me a lot that I don't want, but I also had in those same relationships, I found out things that I love about different things in relationships. And so I believe we can look at anything that's going on in our life from the past or now and find some golden nuggets in there that we write down on a piece of paper and we take ownership of. This is really helping me and making me a better person, kind of thing.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I think that we are, at least our generations are very work driven. And you're right, taking a step back for some gratitude and realigning of our purposes and really thinking, hey, I'm not lazy. I'm just redefining leadership. I'm going a different way about this than I used to. I'm not willing to, like, when I owned the bakery, I'd get up at 2 a.m, then I'd race around, get the kids to school, come back, work till night. I was telling you earlier, my kids would call me like, hey mom, are we having dinner? And I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's dinner time already? Okay, race home, make dinner, go back. And it was just this constant hustle until my parents passed away. And I realized that I need a life. I need a life. And so I just got smarter and I refused to go down that path again. And so if you are also one of those rat race kind of ladies, it's time to redefine your leadership. It's time to pull back the reins, reassess, and get off the hustle wheel. You don't have to do it to be successful.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but honestly, when you slow down, things come together.
Yeah, we become a magnet drawing things to us, people, places, things that help us. Whereas a lot of times when we're hustle, the things are coming, but we're so busy we can't even see them. And when we talked a while back about the difference between the masculine and the feminine, and that has nothing to do with gender. It's just the energy of everybody has masculine and feminine energy, and the masculine is the do, and the feminine is the sit back and not sit back so much, but it's magnetically drawing. It's using that intuition, that having that space for breath. And so I think there's a happy medium in there where we can pull on each one of those things as we need them. And that is one of the things that I remind myself of quite frequently as I'm sitting in front of the computer, getting frustrated because it's not moving fast enough or whatever, is slow down. Wait a minute. Where are you right now in your mind? And just take a breath. And I'll take myself through a few little deep breaths and then start again. And then it's not glitching anymore. It's really things start to flow. I just think that it's finding inside ourselves what works the best for us. And when you get over 50 years old, that's when it's the perfect time to step back and assess. And you can do it now. New generations are doing it a little bit quicker. Being the age that I am used to, that was looked at as lazy, or that was looked at as you'll never make it because you're not doing this. And yeah,
But now that is not the way of things.
that's right.
We've got teenagers becoming millionaires. So like
I know.
clearly that is not how things need to be done anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear from some of our audience of what your experience is. If you're tired of the grind, if you've tried the rat race and it just jumped off, or where you're at in your journey, because we love to talk to people. We love to connect with our audience and see what's going on. And that also helps plan future episodes. So if you want to rate the podcast, review the podcast, drop some comments for us so we can all have a good chat. That would be amazing.
And subscribe. Remember to subscribe and
Yes.
share.
Follow along. If you have friends that need to hear that they need to come off of the hustle, make sure you share the podcast.
Yeah.
As always, we send you lots of love and we are cheering you on for your success. Remember, it's not all about the hustle. You can have a good time and still make progress. Vicki, you want to leave the last words?
Yeah, it's a quote that we were talking about earlier. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, unless it's dessert or passive income. Now, remember that dessert should be fresh fruit and cottage cheese, possibly. We don't want to overdo on the sugar, but
Yeah.
whatever you call dessert and passive income, that's the way to go.
Love it. Truth.
All right.
All
Mwah.
right, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Happy Queens. Bye.